It's around 6 in the morning in Israel. A group of fighter jets lifts off, loaded with long-range precision missiles. Based on CIA and Israeli intelligence, a big chunk of Iran's top leadership has gathered at a compound in Tehran. One of them, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the country's supreme leader. 2 hours and 5 minutes after takeoff, Israeli missiles slam into the compound. This is how the Israeli and U.S. attacks on Iran played out, how the country's leader was killed, and what's been happening ever since. The U.S., Israel, and Iran go way back when it comes to tensions. Up until 1979, Iran was run by Shah Mohammad Reza, an authoritarian king backed by the U.S. When his government was taken down during the Iranian Revolution, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini stepped in and built the Islamic Republic. His mission was to remake Iran into a country governed by Islamic law. Khomeini completely dropped the old Shah's pro-Western attitude. The U.S. and its close ally Israel became declared enemies. Fighting Israel especially turned into both a strategic and ideological priority. Khamenei died in 1989 and was replaced by Ali Khamenei, a cleric who had climbed the ranks fast and become a major figure in the country's religious leadership. Over the years, Iran, Israel, and the U.S. kept clashing. Sanctions were piled onto Iran. Iran started heavily funding anti-Israeli armed groups across the region. Then in 2002, it came out that Iran had been secretly enriching uranium at 2 hidden sites. That enriched uranium could fuel nuclear reactors or nuclear weapons, something the U.S. and its allies had been worried about for a long time. Iran always denied it was chasing nukes. The U.S. and Israel tried all kinds of ways to shut the program down: cyber attacks, killing key scientists, and in the U.S.'s case, mostly through diplomatic pressure. In 2015, the Obama administration managed to broker a nuclear deal with Iran.
This is a good day, because once again we're seeing what's possible with strong American diplomacy. Under the nuclear deal that we, our allies and partners, reached with Iran last year, Iran will not get its hands on a nuclear bomb. But then in 2018, President Trump walked away from it. The fact is, this was a horrible, one-sided deal that should have never, ever been made. Things got tense again after that. In 2025, right in the middle of new talks, Israel and the U.S. launched a round of airstrikes on Iran using bunker buster bombs. 3 Iranian nuclear sites were badly hit. That same year, Iran's economy continued its freefall. The currency tanked, food prices shot up, people were fed up. By late 2025, mass protests broke out all over the country. Peaceful demonstrators and rioters alike were calling for the end of the Islamic Republic. Trump urged the Iranian people to rise up against their government, saying help is on its way. But the regime came down hard. They shut off the internet nationwide. For days, almost nothing got out. When the dust settled, thousands had been killed, and reportedly 50,000 people were arrested. The U.S. started moving troops into the region, with Trump repeatedly threatening Iran. On Thursday, February 26th, there was one last desperate attempt at diplomacy between the two sides in Geneva. It went nowhere. Saturday, February 28th, around 9:40 in the morning in Tehran, Iran's capital. There's a government compound not far from Hafte Square. It reportedly holds offices for the Iranian presidency, the National Security Council, and the supreme leader himself. Since 2025, the U.S. had apparently figured out a lot about how Ayatollah Khamenei and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps operated under pressure, how they communicated, how they moved. The CIA had reportedly been tracking Khamenei for months, mapping out where he went and studying his habits. They were confident he'd be there that day. They also caught wind of a meeting of top Iranian officials happening on site. The U.S. and Israel had originally planned to strike at night, under cover of darkness, but they reportedly pushed up their timeline. This window was too good to pass up. Then suddenly, Israeli missiles hit the buildings.
During the strike, several national security officials were inside one of them. The supreme leader, Khamenei, was reportedly in another. Afterwards, satellite images showed heavy damage across the complex. Black smoke was rising. Verified footage shot nearby showed massive plumes of smoke hanging over the compound. Ali Hosseini Khamenei was killed in the attack. Also killed, Abdul Rahim Musavi, the chief of staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, Ali Shamkhani, head of the National Defense Council, Mohammad Pakpour, commander of the IRGC, Aziz Nazir Sadeh, the defense minister. According to Israeli media, a total of 30 senior Iranian officials were killed in just 30 seconds during the opening strike. The operation was called Roaring Lion by Israel and Epic Fury by the US. It had been in the works for months. Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, survived. Ali Larijani, secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, vowed Iran would fight back and insisted the government would continue to function. But the strike on the compound was just one piece of the operation. After that, Israel reportedly went after Iran's air defense systems, especially those around Tehran. In a third wave, Israel sent in roughly 200 fighter jets, essentially most of its air force, into Iranian airspace. The goal was reportedly to wipe out as many Iranian missiles on the ground as fast as possible. The US then reportedly joined in about 30 minutes after the strike on Iran's leadership. According to the New York Times, American attacks focused mainly on targets in eastern Iran, far from Israel. They also hit the Iranian naval fleet. U.S. warships reportedly fired Tomahawk cruise missiles at Iranian targets, while ground forces used artillery rocket systems. Several military and command centers in Tehran were hit by Israeli airstrikes. More explosions were reported in cities across Iran. Trump released a video officially announcing the military operation and called on the Iranian people to seize the moment. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. Netanyahu soon did the same. Shortly after both announcements, an airstrike hit the Sar Tib Elementary Girls' School in Minab, Hormuzgan province. Iranian state media and officials said at least 175 people were killed, most of them likely children. These numbers have not yet been independently confirmed. According to the New York Times, the school sits right next to an Iranian naval base. U.S. Central Command said it would investigate the strike. Iran then launched Operation True Promise 4, and the counterattack started. Missiles rained down on dozens of sites across the Middle East. More than 200 missiles were fired at Israel alone. In a show of solidarity, the Houthis in Yemen announced they'd go back to attacking shipping in the Red Sea, ending a 3.5-month break that had followed the 2025 Gaza ceasefire. The U.S.-led coalition reportedly shot down several drones and missiles heading for Erbil in Iraqi Kurdistan, with no casualties reported. But later, multiple outlets reported explosions near Erbil International Airport, where U.S. troops are based. That afternoon, Dubai International Airport was hit by an Iranian drone that struck Terminal 3, essentially shutting down UAE airspace. Several luxury hotels, including the Burj Al Arab and Fairmont The Palm, caught fire. It wasn't clear if they were directly targeted or if the fires came from debris after missiles were intercepted. And the UAE wasn't the only country in the crosshairs. In Bahrain, missile and drone strikes hit the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet headquarters. Footage showed what looked like an Iranian Shahed drone hitting a tower block about 20 minutes from the base. In Qatar, the Interior Ministry said 66 ballistic missiles were fired at the country, with debris injuring at least 8 people. In Saudi Arabia, ballistic missiles targeted the Prince Sultan Air Base, but were reportedly intercepted successfully. In Jordan, the military said it shot down 49 drones and ballistic missiles, many of which appeared headed for major U.S. bases in the country. In Kuwait, Iranian drones struck 2 passenger terminals at Kuwait International Airport. In Syria, debris from an Iranian missile killed at least 4 civilians and wounded several more. Both Qatar and Saudi Arabia said they reserve the right to respond. The Arab League condemned Iran's attacks outright. Following the widespread Iranian strikes, NATO's senior command said its missile defense systems in Europe and its early warning radar in Turkey were put on high alert. Some experts also warned that Iran might activate sleeper cells in Europe and North America. The U.S.'s role in all of this is deeply controversial. Trump put out a statement on Truth Social making the case for it. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime,